Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Entry of the Week Award, MVB Awards. Yes, this is episode one, and today we're going to run out the show of explaining the entries that I took throughout the week, and I'm going to link them into categories and give you guys the overview of what I did this week. Yeah, so we have 6 categories today and let's kick in. Now, starting with category number one, the easy entry of the week, the easiest entry of the week. Actually, this is very recent. I took this today on Saturday today, and I took this on volatility 10, and this was the easiest entry of this week, the very easiest entry of this week, and I'm gonna explain to you how I took this entry today. So let's go and review how did I take this entry. So this is exactly the entry which I took today on Saturday, and it was a very beautiful entry. And it was a very easy one, a very easy one. So let me explain to you how I took this entry today, right? Let me explain to you how I took this entry today. So my analysis begins in the 4-hour time frame, and in the 4-hour time frame, I begin to see first the what? The zone, okay? This was the zone, and it was created, the market created a zone, which is this resistance zone, right? And from this zone, we get to see multiple touches inside. My students know about this actually. And yeah, so we can see multiple touches, the first touch, the second touch, and then the third touch, and then we break that zone. But before we break that zone, we experience one candle. This one is actually called the candlestick atom, or other people call it the last candle before the break of the zone. You know the drill. So this candle marks out as the what? The area of liquidity for me to take the entries. Why am I saying an area of liquidity instead of actual entry? Because it is in the 4-hour time frame. So this is a big time frame, so I cannot use it as an entry directly. So I should go to the lower time frame and check out what is in there. So soon after I went to the coordinated time frame, which is the 30 minutes. This is volatility 10 index, by the way, for those who are trading derived pairs, and this is synthetic indices. So you can see this is the structure of that candle, all right? This is the structure of that candle, but if you look closely to the left, this was the level created. And this level here, the market came in and closed inside and then closed outside, making this break of structure above, right? So my students, they know this is the type 3 zone flip, where when you see the market, sorry, uh, when you see the market doing such thing like this, when you see the market doing this, closing outside and then closing inside, and then the market breaks here, obviously this level here becomes your point of interest for you to enter, because most of the time the market will come inside this level and then move to your direction. So after I knew that, after I saw this, I just placed my orders to that point. I didn't even bother to go deeper and look for maybe the 5 minutes, maybe the what. No, I didn't even bother going to those time frames and look for entries. I just left there. And although in the 5 minutes, you can see we have the inside formation, we have this one also, the inside formation, which were clean, not tapped. So I just went with this, okay? I just went with that level because I know when the market does such thing, most of the time the market ends up with that level. All right, so I placed my order to that, and it was just an easy entry. My stop loss was below here, and my take profit was at this high here. So this, you can see, this is just current. It's a current trade, and for those who are trading synthetic indices, there you go. That was my easiest entry of the week. Let's go to the next category. Now, for the next category is the best loss of the week. Okay, the best loss of the week. Actually, this is the entry that hit me. I get stopped out with this. It was on the Bitcoin, the BTC USD. And actually I entered here, and my entry went all the way up, but it failed to hit my take profit around there, and then we see the market moving all the way down. So I was not in the market at this time. So I came to realize now my entry was already take out. So that's the risk of the trade, of trading. You need all to guess. I mean, you cannot avoid losses. So this was the loss of the week. So let's go and see how did I lose this entry and what lesson we can learn from this particular category. So this is exactly the loss which I took on BTC USD, and it was Tuesday, and of course we traded this live on YouTube. So make sure that every Tuesday and Thursday you are tuning in, because we are going to do live trading on YouTube together. So we took this loss together, of course. I don't know if other people secured their entries, but of course I can say this was a very stupid mistake, and of course we learn from mistakes. And of course the entry was executed perfectly. You can see we had a what? A change of character with a break of structure. Okay, so it was a change of character and a break of structure, and this break of structure gave us what? An inside formation, and we take that inside formation, but the market created us with another opportunity, which was this one, and it left us with another inside formation. So the entry was based on inside formation, and that was the entry. And the take profit, I put my take profit here, but the only reason why we were stopped out was in the 15 minutes. So let me show you, and let us learn from this mistake so that no one get stopped out by using this by this mistake again. So there's the mistake was in the 15 minutes. So the 15 minutes, you can see at this particular area where we have the entry, this here was our structure, okay? And it was a wick to body break. That means this is the structure supporting sells and not buys, okay? So taking a buy entry without caution, without being in the market, it was a very stupid mistake, because this structure here, this is an area of liquidity which supports only to sell, right? Only selling, right? So that was the first mistake. And the second mistake, I always put my take profit on the bodies of the turning points. But if I put my take profit to this body, it was a very good trade. But I put my take profit to those weeks because I saw rejection. So I saw, okay, so I say, oh, because we have areas of liquidity left behind in this structure behind, we can come and collect them and then move again. So it was a very stupid mistake. So I hope you can learn from that mistake and never repeat this mistake as I did. Okay. So that was the loss of the week. All right. So let's go to the next category. And now, to the next category is sniper entry of the week. Guys, this entry, I love it. I love it. I love it. It is from Euro USD around 3 minutes, and it was the first entry of the week actually. And actually, it was killed perfect. Yeah, it was so mwah. It was so mwah. Perfect entry, sniper. And let's go now and see how we took this entry. And of course, I took this entry with my student during the session. It was perfect. So let's go and check it out. So this is the sniper entry of the week, Euro USD around 3 minutes, and it was executed perfectly. 100 pips collected. My take profit was around these highs here. Here. So it was a perfect entry. Take it early in the morning, and we executed with this entry with my friend, with my student. And it was just a simple entry, inside formation. That was our inside formation. And one thing to learn about this is this, okay? This is what to learn. This is what you have to learn. First, there was a misconception here because you can see a change of character here, but without inside formation. That's number one thing you need to check out. And later on, after the entry was activated, we had a change of character with inside formation. So what I want to teach you from this entry, and this is exactly what I told my student during this entry. We had our change of character without inside formation, and there is a scenario where you have a change of character with inside formation. So these are two different things, okay? This one here is the what we call a strong shift because it has something inside. So even if the market will come and take out this structure, it won't come just as simple like this. It will actually react to this formation. It cannot just pass through. Compared to this one, here, if you're going to be taken out, the market will go all the way. There will be no reaction inside because there is nothing to react inside. All right. So a shift with inside formation is actually a strong shift. All right. So this change of character here was just a fake out. We cannot consider that unless otherwise the market come in and print something else for you to take that entry. But anyway, our entry was based on this formation here. All right, on this formation, and the analysis was way back to the 15 minutes. And if you go to the 15 minutes, you can actually see what is happening. We have our change of character here with inside formation. This is what I'm telling you guys. If you have a change of character with inside formation, that is actually the strong something you need to look at, okay? So After refining this structure, this whole structure, you can see we have the gap here. So the market must have to fill that gap. This was the beginning of the week. You can see Friday, Monday. So we have that gap. We need to fill that gap. And below, just below that gap, we have that formation in 3 minutes. And boom, our entry. That entry was perfect. Beautiful. Sniper entry of the week. Here we go. So for the next category, this is Gold Hunter of the week, the best gold trade of the week. Now, in this, I have to rank in, I have to categorize this entry in many ways, okay? First, it has to make a lot of pips, and it has to be a simple entry without many complications. All right. And if it has zero drawdown, that is the best one. All right. So it has to make a lot of money. So this was a gold trade and it was perfect. Let me show you how I took this trade. All right. Okay, so for the next category, which is the gold, the best gold trade of the week, this one it is. First of all, look out the pips I collected. 1,200 pips in just one trade, and this was on Friday. Actually, this is madness, right? And it was a simple entry, very, very simple one. On 1 minute, you can actually see what is happening. We have a downtrend. That was the break, and we had another break right there. That is the area of liquidity, and you can see inside that we have what? Our liquidity engineering. What type of liquidity engineering is that? That is simple compressive. They know, my student. And if you don't know about liquidity engineering, there is a video about liquidity engineering. Go and watch it. All right. Go and watch and learn how this liquidity engineering entry was perfected. This was the best trade actually. My take profit was due to 15 minutes, and I took from these lows around here. My internet is lagging right now. All right. So on 15 minutes, you can actually see how that trade was. And this trade was simple. If you go to the 15 minutes, actually, I've already shown you the what? The entry using liquidity engineering, but the overall, you can see this here is what? This is break of structure, and this is the area of liquidity. And inside that, you can see we have our formation. That is a simple formation, and the market tapped that area. So after the market tapped that area, what you need to do is you need to go to the lower time frame and check for what? The change of character with inside formation. Do we have that? Yes, we have that. The change of character with inside formation. Actually, the change of character was in this structure here. But what I waited is we changed character. The market entered in these levels, but it didn't go all the way in. And then we created another structure. That was the structure I used. Instant liquidity engineering, took the entry in the 1 minute, and then that was boom, 1,200 pips in this trade. Amazing. So for the next category, yeah, so recovery trade of the week, the comeback. Okay, this means I took the loss and then I came back again and kill it. I took the loss and then I came back again and kill it. So look at this. This is where I took the loss actually. We had a change of character with inside formation. I took the loss here, and then I waited for the market again, and then it created a change of character with inside formation, and then I waited for the break of structure. This is actually the pure shift, meaning a change of character with a break of structure and the break of structure. That is a pure shift. So this coordination makes you a very strong, makes a very strong setup. So let's go and see what I did in this particular entry, all right? All right, so for the recovery trade of the week, I can see this was easy. But first, I took loss. Why? Because I saw the market entering in this liquidity area here. And after entering that area, we had a change of character here with inside formation. And I hope you can see that inside formation, right? I took my entries there. And soon after I took my entry, boom, the market hit me. It was so devastating. And I took this loss. But I waited again. If you go to the higher time frame, you'll see here the market swiped that with week to week break. So, and then I said, okay, this is an opportunity for me to enter again for buy trades. Now, the market changed character here with inside formation, and then the market did not come to this formation at the bottom, but it created a break of structure afterwards with inside formation. That is the one I took the entry, risking only 15 pips, and then I ended up getting 100 pips. You can see my take profit was in this highs, and that was my 100 pips. So simple, but patiently waiting for the comeback. This was best, man. And that was it. Okay. So I took the second loss and I overcome it. Okay. That was a great comeback. So for the last category, the MVP entry of the week. This is actually the best of the best, okay? The best of all. First of all, I judge this by amount of pips collected, the 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 easiest way I executed um the format of the entry actually. So this, it had many features. First, it was like a sniper entry. It was an easy entry because we had just a break of structure with inside formation, okay? But we corrected a full bag of pips, all right? So let's go and check it, how I executed this entry this week. So this is actually the MVP of all. We collected a bag of pips. You can see 1,000 pips, right? 1,000 pips. But if I was greedy enough, I could collect even more than. Look at that. Look at that. If I could hold this entry till this moment, I could have collected maybe 4,000, maybe 5,000 pips. But I'm not greedy, all right? I'm trading using my plan. That was my 1,000 pips. It was easy actually. It doesn't have many complication. And actually this was facilitated by the news, okay? We had some news around this time and we had to execute this entry using the news information. So a break of structure, inside formation, boom. Simple like that. Simple like that. That's it for the entry of the week award. And I hope you learned something. See you next week for this series. And this was #1 episode. I hope next week we'll have more categories and more entries to review. So thank you very much, and see you next week for the entry of the week award. Thank you very much.